What is up, everybody? Welcome to this Friday night edition of the CheezeTalk podcast. I'm your host, Brian Rego, and tonight I'm joined by fellow Wisconsin sports nut freak, whatever you want to call it. Chuck, I've had him on several times before. Really great guy. Chuck, what is going on in the Wisconsin sports world right now? What are your thoughts on where do you want to start? Do you want to start Brewers? Do you want to start Badgers? Do you want to start Packers? The Bucks haven't even started yet, and they're looking like one of the best teams in Wisconsin. So
Well, as you can see in my background, I'm sitting on my Bucks wall in my office. So why don't we start there? It'll be short, but I was really excited about the Miles Turner addition to the Bucks, and I think it's just such a good compliment to Giannis. And you could kind of see that, and even Miles said, "We're going to do some damage," And I like the fact that we got so many shooters now. We got Cole Anthony in the point guard. I mean, sure, we're missing um, Dame, but
no, you're not.
I,
He would have
yeah,
been out all year.
yeah,
Now you're
exactly,
actually
yeah,
paying someone to play a game, not sit out. It's a
yeah.
gamble you got to take.
And I really like the depth we have. We re-signed AJ Green, and he's been crushing it.
It's
And
huge.
yeah, and actually, I think this is the part. Kyle Kuzma, it's he was very inefficient last year, and you see the guy, and he's got the body and the size and everything that would be great for our team, but he wasn't efficient. Now he's been a little more efficient in the preseason, but if he can't play as bad as he did last year, so if he plays better this year now that he's more familiar, I think we can be instead of a fifth seed like that, we can be a 3 or a 4 seed, and be a team that people don't want to play.
What are your thoughts on Thanasis Antetokounmpo coming back and then signing of Giannis's younger brother?
Alex, yeah.
Yeah,
I, to the outsider, that seems like, ooh, we're gonna make sure Giannis stays here. It's like we're making him happy. Um, as far as Thanasis, I you can't help but like Thanasis personally, his personality, and you can see when the Bucks are playing kind of slow or maybe lackadaisical, you get Thanasis in there and um he gets the energy level up and stuff. And granted, he's uh the 15th guy on the roster, but we won a championship with him as the 15th guy on the roster. If I don't think of the championship is going to come to the last guy on the roster, and if this
well,
is
see,
gonna,
this is how I look at it. Sorry to cut you off.
yeah, no,
It's Thanasis. It might make Giannis feel a little bit more comfortable. I mean, Giannis has been in the league long enough now; he should be comfortable. But
right,
maybe it's that extra gets him over, whatever. But also the energy he brings when he's out there, whether he's on the
yeah,
court or he's on the bench, he's
oh yeah,
constantly running. You saw last year where he went to pretty much all the games and sat
yeah,
courtside cheering on the Bucks.
yeah, yeah, and they were doing so when he wasn't there. They didn't do as well when he was sitting there. Yeah, they did. He's they feel his presence, and I think he means more to the team than a lot of people really realize.
Yeah,
And now, as far as Alex, I I, I don't know. As now, uh, I don't know. I think that's just a a handout to
developmental.
Giannis, but I mean, it can't hurt. Obviously he's got the with the family. He's probably got potential, but I haven't seen it yet, so it's just and we got Johnny Davis now too from the Badgers. So they signed him to the herd. So it should be interesting.
I think that I love that. I loved him at Wisconsin. It sucked
Yeah.
to see him go after his junior year,
Yeah.
but he's got to do what's best for him, not what's best for the fans.
Right.
And I
Right.
think it might be full circle him coming around back and getting linked on with the Wisconsin herd because this might be his second shot to come back and prove a point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Wisconsin kid coming back home.
that'd be great. Also, he has the experience too, and in an 82 game season, how many times guys get hurt and things like that, and you could use the depth and maybe just maybe being back home, he's gonna, yeah, that's what he needs to just get back to, the level he was at. So I, I think it's nothing but a good thing to get him back here. And at least when he does, if he is able to play some games with the Bucks, he's got, NBA experience. It's not throwing like a brand new rookie in there. So
Doesn't hurt. He was what, a top 10 pick. I
yeah,
mean,
exactly.
he was evaluated to be drafted that high, so the potential is there for it to finally maybe hit stride in his fourth or fifth year, whatever he's in.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like the move. It's you can never rest when you have a team and you have a farm team, like the Herd, because you never know like what talent you could bring in and give them different scenery.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not so fast paced, and maybe it's just you know going to the Wizards or whatever they are, the Bullets, the Wizards, whatever they are.
Yeah.
Maybe that was just like shot his confidence down. Maybe now he's back at home. He's back with the Bucks organization. Hey, I got something to prove. Maybe he can hit
Yeah.
the switch and make the transition. I hope he can. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Well, it looks like the Wizards haven't been a good place for anyone really the last 4 or 5 years. So maybe he's coming to a winning organization now and maybe get a little different feels, a different coaching, and being with, you know, players who've performed at a high level that can't hurt.
What? So we kind of talked about the Bucks. You kind of talked about the Badgers.
Hmm.
What are your thoughts on the football program right now? I know a lot of people online are like fire Fickle, fire Fickle. Do you
Hmm.
think he's had long enough to try to assemble a somewhat dominant, not dominant, but somewhat decent team?
Yeah, this is the tough part. As a lot of us, I was very excited when we got Fickle. It's like, okay, he's got that winning Ohio State background. He goes to Cincinnati, a smaller school, and wins there, gets in the playoffs. And I kind of liked his attitude. I didn't like the fact when he brought in an air raid offensive coordinator to start with. That just made me think back to Gary Anderson when he was trying. And hey, we get big farm boys, we get running backs. It's like kind of cater your stuff to the guys you're going to be able to recruit. And so I think that was the initial first problem. He tried to rectify that. Um, but we shouldn't be this bad. The thing that really bothers me is it doesn't look like our offensive line is good anymore. And it's like that was always a staple, even on teams that, were, 7-6 or something, and I think we've kind of lost the core abilities that made those Badger teams successful all those years. So, unfortunately, as much as I like the hire, I almost got to think you got to do something.
Yeah,
And
it's it's crazy to think. You get so pumped up about these recruits. 4 star, 5 star. Well, we just lost one of the top receivers in the nation.
mhm,
Decommitted from Wisconsin, Tayshawn Bardo. Look,
yeah,
tall, lanky receiver, fast, and catch the ball, good hands. And
yeah,
now there's rumors that the top running back, one of the top running backs in the nation that committed to Wisconsin, Latimer, might be. He's a crystal ball prediction to transfer or decommit from Wisconsin and commit to Ohio State. So that would be huge. I mean,
yeah,
it's just so. I mean, I don't know what's all going on in Madison. I don't know how the players feel about it. No one's really talking about like their feelings. But then you see all these posts on Twitter like why I'm a Badger, and it's just something different going on. There's the social media. You got the NIL. There's so many different factors that are jumping into college sports nowadays that have kids thinking that
mhm,
they're the next big thing without having to work for it. And then, if I go here for a year, I could whatever this Latimer thing. If it does happen to where he does end up going to Ohio State, kind of reminds me of that. Remember years ago that running back was like Deshaun Stevenson. Remember that? when he
Mm-hmm.
committed to Wisconsin, then he decommitted and went to Ohio State. Then he decommitted from Ohio State, went to like Nebraska. Then he
Yeah.
went from Nebraska to North Carolina. He just pretty much disappeared.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, you have someone like Latimer who's going to be going to if he does go to Ohio State and leaves Wisconsin,
Mm-hmm.
he's going to get buried in the depth chart.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
at
You're good.
Wisconsin, at least you're going to be a consistent. You know, between you and at least one or two other running backs getting the ball every game versus maybe getting the ball at Ohio State when you're just up, 48-0 on a team. So
Right. Right. Or you
I
don't get to start till you're a junior, and something like that. And that's what we should be able to sell. Hey, you might, if you perform well, you're going to get to start as a freshman possibly, and I mean, when we're playing, I mean, I'm sure those kids are watching tape too, or watching TV. And I mean, I was practically getting physically ill watching the Iowa game,
I
and
didn't even watch it. I didn't watch it. I
uh,
mean, something else is going on when the
well,
Iowa
the
game.
Brewers were going on, and I was watching it, and then I was thankful that the Brewers were on, so I could turn that off because it was just it was frustrating.
It's just I'd rather have Brett Bielema back on the sidelines for the Badgers. At least his
Oh,
team's ranked.
oh yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah. I mean, obviously we haven't had a real good quarterbacking situation since Russell Wilson, and we get these guys in, they're getting hurt, but I think we got to just go back and start again with the defensive line, the offensive line. That's where you build the teams, and the offensive line doesn't look like Badger football, and
yeah,
and if Luke Fickle at this point can't at least have a good offensive line and a good a solid defense, you should never give up 37 points to Iowa. I mean,
right.
they're not an
At
offensive
home,
juggernaut. Yeah,
at
exactly.
home.
Yeah,
They
it's
haven't. What was this? The last time they got shut out was like in 1988
yeah,
or some crazy, 40,
yeah,
40 years ago, 37 years ago.
yeah. That would 80. I just graduated from college. Yep.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, it's just it's just I love Wisconsin, but it's hard to watch. It really is hard to watch.
yeah,
I mean,
it is.
you're running the ball for like a negative gain, or because I mean, how do you have confidence in your offensive line?
Yeah,
How do you have confidence in your coaching when they're? I mean, it's just like you can't establish a run, so you ain't gonna be able to pass, and
right.
vice versa.
Yeah.
It's just, it, for what was it? I was watching the Ohio State game. I think no, not Ohio State because they play Ohio State. Alabama. They
Yeah. Oh,
hung with
yeah.
Alabama for a little bit, but then
Right.
Alabama then they just pulled away and just before halftime they just threw the knife at them.
And the really killer game was the Maryland game because I thought, okay, I understand losing to Alabama. A good team. You go in, you play Maryland, who's not a juggernaut. They have some talent, but and they just couldn't hang with them. And then, yeah, there's got to be something done. You
Yeah,
know.
and you can't tell me that there's not. I mean, the NIL is factors and everything with different. I mean, part of it's got to come from outside interest like alumni and
Yeah.
what you can't tell me there's wealthy enough alumni at UW Wisconsin that can't pitch a little bit of money to their football program and make them relevant. I mean, come on, look what Greg Gard does with
Oh yeah.
2 and 3 star players. I mean, come on, really? You
Yeah.
know,
I mean,
so
yeah, on your show, I'm gonna put a head out to Culver's and Menards. You need to step up and put some NIL money in for the Badgers to get this moving. I'm
Culver's and
call,
Menards.
I'm
Yeah.
calling you out right now. Let's go.
What other and Quick Trip?
Quick trip. Yeah, exactly.
That's the cross, right? That started in the
Yeah,
cross.
yeah.
Yeah. Come on. See you next time, right? That's their motto. Whenever you make a purchase and you go to walk out, you turn around to walk out the door. Like, see you next time. It's like, yep, you will.
Oh yeah. Well, heck, if they had a deal where, oh, you buy this burger and we give 10 cents to the NIL, I'd be there every day. It's like,
Right? Yeah. then you'd be watching the Badgers from the hospital room because you're clogged arteries.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that may happen anyway.
I know what you're saying, though. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
there's got to be something to where, they've just, yeah. I mean, with Wisconsin football, they've got to get back to what made them successful in the past, which is getting the big horses up, the big cows up front, blocking, and then obviously anyone with an IQ knows that in order to have a good passing game, you have to have a good running game.
right.
In order to have a good running game, you got to have a good passing game. So it's just if what you have now can't get it done,
Yeah,
I know they just signed him into an extension,
yeah.
which you've got to do something. It's just it's a hard brand to put out there and have people watch. You got tickets going for like $20.
Oh, I know.
I mean, really? I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah.
And so it's I don't know. I'm getting excited for the Bucks. As you talked about earlier, I'm getting excited for Wisconsin basketball because I think they're starting like in the top 24, the
Yep.
number 24 team in the nation. They got they got some size finally. They got 7-footer from Middleton. They got
Yep.
that I can't think of the kid's name, but he's a transfer portal kid. He's like Austin Rupp, I think his name is.
Yeah. Yeah.
6'10", 6'11". You have a lights out player from here in De Pere, Zach Kinziger.
Sure. Yep.
He was like a top 70 kid in the nation this last year. So they're going to be a fun team to watch.
Oh,
You
definitely.
got to give Greg Gard credit to what he's been able to do, and even with the maybe not so lucrative Wisconsin basketball program, but what he can do with what he gets,
Yeah.
no matter what the rating is, what he can do with the transfer portal is huge. It's
Hmm.
been huge for them. And I always go back. I mean, look at AJ Storr. He could be going into his second year in the NBA this year, but he decided that he wanted to leave Wisconsin for Kansas for that $1 million paycheck, and he's going to
Oh,
like his eighth school in 8 years. I mean, you
yeah.
know.
He sat on the bench pretty much all last year, and so
So I
it's
mean, it is what it is. So I'm just looking forward to a little breath of fresh air from the basketball program, knowing that they're gonna
yeah.
be a fun team to watch. Um,
The
how about
nice
we
thing
switch?
about the Badger basketball, they've never fallen like the football team has. If
They've been
you know
consistent for years.
exactly, and I think Guard's a good coach. I'm sure everyone just the thought, oh, Bo handed it to Guard, and is he? I don't know. Obviously, Guard knows his stuff, and I like how they've been doing it. And I mean, sure, we're gonna miss Tanjay, this year, but I'm sure Blackwell's gonna step up, and too. And we're and I think we're in real good shape. It's gonna be a fun year to watch.
Definitely. What are your thoughts on the Packers so far? Actually, let's answer a couple of questions that have been sitting here in the hopper.
Oh,
True North Sport, True North Packers fan 728. His first question was: either of you think that Kyler Murray will stop playing Battlefield long enough to play this weekend? I don't know. I assume he plays a lot of video games, Kyler Murray, and it's
yeah,
probably, you know, I don't know. I haven't really watched much of the Cardinals this year. I guess they've never really been. I mean, they've been a decent team, but I mean, they got Marvin Harrison Jr. who cleared concussion protocol, so he's playing this
right.
weekend. I don't know. I'm
Um,
not too concerned about Kyler Murray.
no, well, and I'll tell you why. That they've lost four in a row, and all of their games have been one possessions. They've lost four in a row on last possession, field goals. And so obviously they have a closing problem. And they're on their third string running back now because Connor went down. Then Trey Benson started to do well. He went down. He's on the IR now. And so I think they have a nice design for offense and good coaching, but I'm not worried about it exactly. I'm I think I worry more about what the Packers, if they can take care of business like they need to. Obviously, the Packers should be 5-0 this year. I mean, the especially the way in Cleveland, that was. you know, super frustrating. I mean, I know they have a good defense, but we sure helped them out a lot. And the block field goals. I think they put Zach Tom back on special teams to block for that, so we're not getting any um, dumb kicks blocked. But besides our special teams, our assistant head coach, I thought we were supposed to get better on special teams. We have not gotten better. But,
Yeah, it's frustrating to watch. It was. I mean, not overall. They're enjoyable to watch. The way Jordan Love gets all of his receivers in the action with the catches and the passes and stuff, and
mhm.
the way he can elude some of the defenders and keep himself upright to get the pass off. Everyone, even like after the Cowboys game, it's like you can't blame him. You can't blame him because he put up 40 points.
Exactly.
You know, and
Yeah.
you can't blame him against the Browns. Yeah, he had that one bad pass, but that's why you have a top defense to go out there and
I
rectify,
know, but we did only
that.
score 10 points, and
But he drove the team down to win the game, and the kick
he
got
did.
blocked. So
Yeah,
if that block kick wouldn't have gotten blocked,
we win the
oh,
game.
he had to come from behind or
Hmm.
game winning drive. But it wasn't his fault it got blocked. He
No,
did what
no.
he was supposed to do at the end of that game, but the
Yeah.
kick got blocked. So I mean, I think he's having a good year. I really do, and
Oh,
I
I
think
agree.
I think these next three games we can win, and we can go into Philly being 6-1-1,
Hmm.
and give it to the Eagles
I
big
agreed.
time.
And to answer the listener's question, the reason I'm not too worried about Kyler Murray going off, obviously he's coming back from injury, but Quay Walker and Edgerrin Cooper, one of them can spy on him if they need, be a spy on them, and I think that will work fine. Um, I would like to see a little more pressures though from the defense. Because we got a little spoiled those first two games how fantastic the defensive looked, and then even Joe Flacco on the Browns, took a 10-minute drive on us, and then Cowboys put 40 up on us, and so um, I think I just think we need a little more pressure, but doesn't sound like Lucas Van Ness, who's been playing pretty well, doesn't sound like he's going to play this week.
Yeah,
So
he's out.
yeah, so that's just
Did,
where I
did, what are your thoughts on Micah Parsons?
um I like the fact that we went and got a big time player like that. I'm sure, you know, Gutenkist worked for Ted Thompson, and Ted Thompson's probably rolling over in his grave, on a move like that because he gave up two first round picks, and Ted would, he'd give up his kids before he'd give up first round picks, and so, um, I we're gonna see. I think this is gonna play out. I'm happy they made the move, thinking, hey, we get that defense to a top five. We could compete for a title. So I like the fact that they went after that. I'm still not sold yet that he's gonna be worth two first round picks yet. But I know I've rewatched the tape and I saw how he's just getting held every single play, and I know he complained to the media
Oh
this
yeah,
week about that, and
big time.
you can't blame him. He's right. He's not making stuff up. He's really getting mugged and
When
held.
you have
So
a guy who has your chin in his corner of his elbow like that, and the guy whose arm is around your neck is behind you, that's a hold.
yeah,
That
yeah.
one play against the Cowboys where Dak was rolling to the right and he
Mm-hmm.
found that crazy catch on the sidelines down the field. Parsons was getting held from behind from his jersey on that. That was, I mean, it's just the NFL. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
they have to have a standard for their officials.
Yeah,
If
they
you're
do.
not going to call it, I mean, I don't know. It's
At
frustrating
least
because
call
I
the
know I
blatant
know that
ones, and those are
there's
blatant.
a lot of moving parts in a football game, but stuff
Yeah.
like that, I mean, at some point, it's going to get to the point where I think you're going to have New York calling into the games and being, hey,
Yeah.
watch this or watch that, or maybe they'll start calling virtual penalties. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And if a team wants to challenge a penalty, then they can watch that on video, and if it stands, it stands. If not, take it
Hmm.
away. But they're just getting held.
Yeah.
It's crazy. When he's sitting there against the Lions where he had two guys on him and he's sitting there with his arms up and he had both the linemen's arms around his neck. It's like, come on, man,
Yeah. Yeah.
call
Yeah.
something.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, it's kind of going back to remember Seattle's great defense back in the day. They even would say, "Yeah, we're going to hold every play because they can't call it every play." And if this keeps happening to Micah, I I see teams continuing because there's no disincentive to holding them if they're not going to call it. So
Yeah, True North says the Cardinals have lots of talent. They just struggle to put games together. Don't take them lightly. You can't take it like
no.
my kid is upstairs right now playing Madden 26, and
Yeah.
just the advancements of like the fog and the rain and the how the rain
Hmm.
affects the players. I mean, it's every year it gets better. And he goes, Dad, even before I came down to the podcast, Chuck, he's like, he's in sixth grade. He's
Hmm.
like, I like this game because like you never know. You could be playing against a really good team, and you could be one of the worst teams on the game, and you can beat them. I go, that's how it is in real life, dude. I go, you look at teams now that teams that are 4-1 playing against team 1-4, and the team that's 1-4 beat the team that's 4-1. I mean, it is what it is. Any given Sunday holds that quote true so much.
Yep.
And it's just crazy. Like, but back to the Micah Parsons, you just call it.
Yeah.
If it's a hold, it's a hold.
Yeah.
It's just
Exactly.
it's so it's so old. It's just so frustrating. And people are like, "Oh yeah, now you're saying it," but when he was on the Cowboys, you're celebrating it. No, I want fair gameplay. I want it equal
Yeah.
on both sides. You don't want to have leverage, you know. So
Exactly. I want to beat them at full strength, at their full strength, and our full strength, and that's what makes a great game. And so,
the
but
NFL crew for the Packers game is known for calling a lot of holds. Well, I
okay,
mean, let's hope they're legit holds,
hmm,
because what we've seen in the last couple of weeks has been nothing.
okay.
So,
Well, I have a question for you. I was listening to Locked On Packers and another Packer uh, podcast, and they were saying they think Jordan Love should be throwing more because the Packers are like last year we ran the most out of any team, and I'm sure some of that was because of Love's injury, and Malik Willis played in a couple games, so I'm sure we ran more in those games. But we're still up in the top five of running now. Obviously, Josh Jacobs is very effective and stuff. But what is your perspective on that?
um, I don't disagree with it. We have the weapons to keep distributing the ball through the air. My only thing is you got to keep your quarterback upright.
Yeah,
You got
yeah,
to if he has, like I've been saying every week on my podcast. There's that 2 to 3 second window. If the pressure is getting to you within that time, you
yeah,
can't get back, you can't get set, you can't make your reads, and you're going down. And
yeah,
that's where you make mistakes. If you have
yeah.
five to six,
Hmm.
seconds,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, we have the receivers to get open. You know
yeah.
what I'm
Agreed.
saying? So, but we've had to juggle our offensive line. I'd be down for more passing. That way,
Yeah.
you put on the gas and you don't give up.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Our line hasn't been playing up to what it was last year, but obviously, a lot of that is, the Zach Tom injury and the other injuries and the rotating of the offensive line, and so I'm
Right.
hoping by later in the season we'll hopefully if we're healthy we'll it'll be more effective and then we can. And the other thing I'm looking forward, I'm glad Matthew Golden started to get more involved in the offense and running the ball and getting passes. But if Christian Watson comes back and him and Matthew Golden, I think that's a lot of speed. That's going to put some pressure
Well,
on
he
defenses.
so they have until a week from Sunday to activate
Yep.
him, right?
Yep.
So you figure, okay, so you get Christian Watson back, you got Matthew Golden in his stride, you got Dobbs, who I don't care, say what you want. He's our receiver number one.
Yeah.
They're working a contract with him to get him extended. Awesome.
Mhm.
He's one of the guys I wanted to keep in the first place.
Yep.
Okay, and you're getting to the later part of the year. Maybe you got to kind of back off on these the Golden or the Dobbs or the Christian Watson. But then you got Wicks if you don't trade them. Then you got Malik
Mhm.
Heath. You got Kraft. You got Musgrave. And then we'll have Jaden Reed coming back off of injury.
Oh,
So
that's
that's
right.
five guys right there that are replacing they could take potential rest for our other receivers. So I mean, if you have Dobbs and Golden and you have Watson and Reed and
Yeah.
a four receiver set, I mean, someone's gonna be open. And that's just a given. So I'm looking forward to it. I hate to see people get injured, obviously, but the timing for Jaden Reed's injury couldn't have came at a better time with his
Hmm.
collarbone in week 2,
Yeah.
because as we all know, he was struggling from that Jones fracture in his foot.
And
So
then
they're able to do both surgeries at
right.
once to let him recover and come back 100%. So I mean, you hate to see a player, especially on your own team, anybody in general, get hurt. But
Mhm.
like I said, the timing couldn't have been at a better place, because with him being out, the receivers are done okay. Then with him being out, you're gonna have Watson coming back, and then when he comes back, they're gonna be at full strength.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Definitely.
it's worked out perfect.
Definitely, definitely. I think we'll be in good shape, and especially I think as the defense, if that can just get a little more consistent, yeah, we won't need to score 40 points a game, and so I think that's the goal. But
I like the fact how Parsons in his first couple of games, even in the third and fourth games, how he's lining up at end. He's lining up at tackle, at nose
yes,
tackle, at linebacker. That's
yeah,
awesome. So, and I think he's making everybody better too on that line, which I said, obviously it's common sense. You get all the
hmm,
attention on one side, a couple of guys on the other side are going to free up and make plays, which is like Rashawn Gary. But
yeah.
now there's trade talks that there's been teams reaching out to the Packers for Rashawn Gary. So that could be, I mean, maybe you don't, maybe you just trade for draft picks and then you get your first round picks back again. You know?
Yeah, you would. Yeah, I think you would have to get a first round pick even to discuss it, because if the Packers brass thinks we're a Super Bowl contender, then you don't trade Rashawn Gary, because you just can't have one rusher. You need multiple guys rushing. So I think unless you get first round picks, Gary's staying here. So
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine if we got 2 first round picks for Rashawn Gary?
oh wow,
You know what I'm
that would
saying?
be
And
yeah.
he trade to a team that's finishing towards the back of
Mm-hmm.
the standings. I mean, then you can have all those people that said, "Oh, the Packers, they're dumb for giving up 2 first round picks for
Yeah.
Parsons." Well, we picked
Mhm.
it back up with trading away. I don't think the Packers are going to trade Rashawn Gary though. But
No, no.
I mean, I can maybe see like if Van Ness and Gary were just wrecking balls, and then you had
Hmm.
Micah Parsons. I mean, at
Yeah,
some point you got to let one go before they both get too expensive, where
sure, sure.
you're gonna end up losing one without getting anything for them.
Yeah,
So it's I don't know. It could be interesting in Green Bay here in the next few weeks, because something could go down. I don't know.
definitely. And I have a question for you. Now, Parsons does make players better, and you could see Keyshawn Nixon in one game had 5 pass breakups, and everything, because he doesn't have to cover the guy for 7 seconds when you got Parsons and all the guys chasing the quarterback. So that's a nice thing. I'm still not sold on the depth of our cornerbacks, though it does scare me, and that's where I worry that could be one of the things that hinders us from getting to our ultimate goal is our cornerback play.
Yeah. Are you gonna ask me like what do I think? What do I think? I think the Packers. I hope they go out and they try to come back with Asante Samuel Jr. I think I've
Oh
liked him
yeah,
since the draft, but he's been dealing with a neck injury.
right,
Um,
right.
and the thing is, Chuck, everything goes together. I mean, I've been saying the first game with the Packers with Micah Parsons, when he was in the game against the Lions,
Mm-hmm.
he would the defense is getting the Jared Goff with like 2.4 seconds
Yeah,
from the
wow.
snap of the ball. when he wasn't in the game, they
Mhm.
weren't getting to him for almost 4 seconds. So
Wow.
and I've always said that you can't have a cornerback chasing a receiver around for more than between 5 to 7 seconds because they're going to burn you.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
the games that Nixon looked good were the
yeah,
games where they got to the quarterback within that window, that the
yeah.
3 to 5 seconds or 2 to 3, whatever it is.
Hmm.
He looked like an all pro.
Yeah.
So did Valentine. But
Oh, definitely.
now when you got to hold them accountable for the defense not getting to the quarterback, they're getting scorched.
Yeah. And
So I don't know. I mean, it even happened to Charles Woodson. He was one of the greatest, but he would eventually, when he was getting older, getting scorched. Not
sure.
scorched, but he was getting beat.
Yeah.
Then they
Right.
moved him to safety.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's one thing I think the Packers gotta maybe shore up with, maybe in the free agency, or not free agency, but the draft, the trade deadline, or
Yeah.
and maybe attack it in the offseason, maybe go corner heavy in the draft, because we need guys that can keep up with these receivers, and
Hmm.
but then it falls back on the line too. You have to get to the quarterback to
Oh yeah.
have these cornerbacks be effective. So I mean,
Definitely.
it's all a mind game. It's all a
Yeah.
mind game. It's hard because Nixon, yeah, he has speed, but you can't have a tight end having 5 yards, you know, leverage on you, or you can't have, you know, this who the receivers you played last week, that um Jamar Chase and
T. Higgins.
T. Higgins, you know, just that. I mean, those are good receivers, but you just they gotta figure it out. I mean, it's just
Yeah. Well, look at last night. What happened with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase
Jamar
went
Chase.
off.
Yeah,
I mean the Steelers, who supposedly have to have a good defense, they weren't getting to the quarterback, and you saw what happened. 40 some year old Joe Flacco's dicing them up, and
yeah. Then you have Aaron Rodgers' own teammate trying to freaking take him up for the season, tackling him,
yeah,
celebrating after that touchdown.
yeah,
That
yeah.
that pissed Aaron off. He got up and pushed him away.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I don't know. It's just, you would hope that with the front seven that we have, that we wouldn't be having these conversations and these issues with our corners. Corner has always seemed to be, except for the years with, like, Tramon Williams and Charles Woodson, which is like
Yeah,
1 in a million, getting those two on this field at the same time in their prime. But
right.
if you don't have people like that, I mean, you've got to have people that can step up and do the job.
Hmm.
And if you can't, I mean, you can't put the blame back on. It's I don't know. You can't put the blame on the line, but you can't put the blame on the corner. So it's kind of hard. You know, it's
It is a team effort, and one affects the other. It's like, yeah,
right,
you don't have to be all pro corners when rushers are getting to the quarterback in 2 seconds. It's
right. It reminds me of, like, in youth football, we played this team where they had their offense to where they're like on the near hash mark, and they had
hmm.
it to where their furthest guy, like, if we're the defense facing the offensive line, their furthest guy to the right, I don't know if there's a tight end there or if there's a tackle, but
Hmm.
everybody else was on the others. Like, there were no receivers out to both sides. It's just all to
Oh,
one side.
and load it up.
So
Okay,
we just had the cornerback. We had our corner pinched
blitz.
down at the end of the line and just
Yeah,
watch for the play coming to the other side. It was like one
hmm.
of the easiest offenses to go against, because
Yeah,
everything's going to happen in this back corner. It's like, well, I
yeah,
mean, whatever. But no, it's just like, obviously NFL and college and high school is more complex than that. But
right.
you just bottom line is, you can't have guys that are trained to run in a marathon like a receiver,
Hmm.
and expect a guy who's trained to run like in a flat out race cover him, because he's going to slow down before the marathon runner is. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So they got to adjust that in some way. However they do it, I'm looking forward to it because hopefully it's successful.
Yeah. So that it's cool. I mentioned to you before the show that I kind of stepped up and as my grandson's flag football coach for 7 and 8 year olds. So, you have any recommendations? We are 2-0 though, but it's kind of 6-on-6. It's a
Six
lot of
on six.
fun.
So one of the guys that I coach with, he ran a flag football team. It was like 7-on-7,
Mm-hmm.
and they were winning championships. And you just gotta just run routes to get people open, and avoid getting your. I'm not all too familiar with flag football, so I mean I can only imagine like when we're doing like combines and stuff
Mm-hmm.
for before our season started, we are doing like 7-on-7 with the kids, and that was really my only first like introduction to like trying to like be like, hey, you run here. Then when he comes this way, you go that way and this way. You just got to
Mm-hmm.
be creative. You always got to try to be like 1 or 2 steps ahead of the defense. You got to try to think what defense is going to do. And then
Yeah.
like what you show them on offense is hopefully you have them thinking one way, but really you're doing something different. You just got it's a mind game. It's like playing checkers or chess.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah.
at 2-0, you're doing something right.
Yeah, well, we have some good kids. The first week, my grandson and another kid both had pick sixes, and then the next week we were just um, you can't physically block in flag
Right.
football, but you can run at the defenders. So
You
you
can
just
run
kind of
routes and do
stand in their
picks.
way. So we would stack the one side and we'd run behind that, and then sometimes we'd pitch it back because if you pitch back and you fumble, it's a dead ball. So there's no risk. Like in regular football, you wouldn't always be pitching back, and so that's gotten a few
Right.
touchdowns that way. So.
True North. Jair Alexander might be available soon. No, thank you. He's done. He ain't coming back to Green Bay. No,
Yeah.
actually, on the talks of on youth football. So last weekend was our last weekend of flag football, of tackle
Mhm.
football.
Mhm.
Fifth and sixth graders. And so we started off 0-2. But we ended up winning our last 4 games in a row, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The last team that we played last weekend was undefeated, and we
Oh,
were able to beat them 14-0. So it's
nice.
pretty
Nice.
big moment for our kids. And in youth football, it's so good. Um, you see every team in that league every week they get better and better and better. It's just awesome to see and be able to be part of that coaching the youth football kids and seeing
Definitely.
the joy in their eyes when they don't think they can do something, but you tell them that they can and they go out and they do it. Just it's awesome to see them go out there and have a fun time, especially in
Definitely.
youth football.
Well, since
So
we're in North Carolina, they can play till the first week in November, so we got about 4 more games left. So,
yeah,
um, um, but
we got basketball starting now for here, so that's practice
oh
starts next week. So there's no rest for the wicked. It's
no,
it's one
definitely.
thing to the
I
next.
remember those days. Good times. Um,
Yeah.
so let's see what
What are your thoughts on the Brewers?
yeah. Now, obviously, they had a great season, best record in the league. Um, they swept the Dodgers in the regular season. You think it's 6-0, so you always know the postseason is different, but at least taking them 6-0 means yeah, we got a shot. We can go with these guys, and they just haven't been able to hit. I mean, granted, I give some credit to the Dodgers pitching staff, but still, it's frustrating. You can't expect your pitchers. You have to pitch a shutout to win. That's not the way. Scoring one run a game is pretty frustrating. And we started out the Cubs series, big 2 wins, hitting the ball, and then back down. That it hasn't been that good since then. So
Yeah, it's crazy. Maybe the magic they're supposed to have for Euchre is only supposed to be in the regular season. I don't know. It's just
yeah.
it's it's and you think back to the game one where it was bases loaded and the guy could have taken a hit by a pitch and got a run in. And he avoided it. Then the
Mm-hmm.
next thing he swung at a high pitch and struck out. I mean, why wouldn't you just get hit by the damn ball and get a run?
Exactly. It's called situation baseball, and it's
Right.
one other play though I'd like to discuss that when the the Dodgers hit the ball, and it bounced off. Was a Frelick's glove, and then off the wall, and he catches it, and they ended up getting the double play on that. Anyone who's played baseball, why didn't that Dodger guy on third run the second to hit Frelick's glove? Because that's when you can tag up. He would have been safe at home for sure. They might have got the other guy confused, but that was
I
just
just think that
horrible.
they had no idea what was going on.
Well, you get paid a lot of money to know what's going on, so I think that's.
Yeah.
I mean, because really, you don't have to know. You just know you hang up on third on a fly ball deep to center. The
Yep.
second it touches his glove, you run, and whether he catches it or he doesn't, it doesn't matter. You're still able to run. You don't
Yeah.
have to wait till it goes in your glove. It just once it touches it is the tag up rule. So, um, I mean, that was a interesting play, but
Yeah,
um,
that was they said that I've never seen something like that ever. Like something so I don't know. And it was smart for Contreras to get the tag out and then go to third base and take that guy out too.
oh
So
yeah, yeah. I like the way the Brewers play. That's my grandson Cam, and I like how they run because a lot of teams don't run, the way taking the extra base, doing things like that. But you got to hit the ball.
yeah,
It's
you gotta.
frustrating.
They're tied with like the 1908 Mets or 1920 Mets for least amount of hits in the first three games of a series with nine. You know,
That's frustrating.
crazy.
Um.
But
So
yeah,
what do you? I mean, technically we could still win, but I'm kind of writing us off. Down 3-0 against a good team. But what do the Brewers do for next year? They get the bats. They get, obviously it's pretty hard to find another Miz, So um,
they they have the bats. They just
yeah,
got to use them.
yeah.
You know, they have the defense. They have.
Mm-hmm.
I would say. I mean, you have every position. I mean, you have guys that are playing multiple spots in the outfield throughout the
Mm-hmm.
year. You have guys that are playing, yeah, like I said, multiple spots, and you got to have. I would say go and get one more dominant pitcher if you can.
Yeah.
You know, just to get that exclamation mark out there and another strong. I mean, Peralta, more often than not, he has great outings, and
Oh
when he's
yeah.
bad, he is
Mhm.
bad.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm
There's no
saying?
middle
It's
for him. It's yeah. Yeah, that's the tough part. I as you can see with this, you don't need to go in the playoffs. You don't need five deep. You're starting
right.
pitching. You get three deep, you're set. And so yeah, I think you got the right. You know, you strengthen the starting. The starting core. Get another. Stud pitcher, and that's how you're gonna. How you're gonna do it. So
Yeah, I mean, you might go with the bats. You don't have to have multiple home runs a game. Just play small ball.
yeah,
Get hits, get singles, get doubles. They score runs.
right,
You know what I'm saying? It's
right.
just
Because you already like to run, run the bases. So I think that is part of creating runs. But if you don't get guys on base or hitting,
I
it's
mean, you
hard.
think about it. If the Brewers, if what was who was it, Trang
Hmm.
that didn't take that hit by pitch and then he struck out.
Yeah,
Just think of how much that would have changed momentum if he would have gotten hit. They would have tied the game, and
definitely.
then they could have went up 1-0 on
Oh
the.
yeah.
Now we're down 3-0 because something that happened maybe 2 games ago, 3 games
Yep.
ago. You got like momentum, like the Packers. You get the blocked field goals, and then like the blocked field goal against um
The Bears. Mhm.
the
Boston.
blocked field goal that got ran back for against Dallas.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right before halftime, and they scored
Yep.
again. It's
Yep.
like that was all that's all it needed was that right there. That changed the game. It gave them the momentum, the keep the momentum and the intensity more than what we wanted to be around for.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just you gotta obviously you play small ball, and I think we gotta maybe get like another ace.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks losing that we lost Willie Adamas, but it hold on there, Chuck. I'll get you on. Yeah, it sucks that we lost Willie Adamas, but we had, I think, the right guy to take a spot. I mean, they had a good year. It's
Oh yeah.
I mean, and even maybe we'll see what we got with what we drafted this last year. Didn't they get a really good pitcher in the draft? A
Yeah.
couple of good pitchers. I mean, you just never know. You get back Woodruff healthy, and you got Peralta, and you got Ashby. I mean, they all seem good. Quintana, and who is the other 48 pitcher?
Mhm. Yeah. I'm not.
Feister or whatever his name is. Not Feister. Well, he pitched good this year. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
It's
Well,
just
I think the encouraging thing for Brewer fans is, I mean, yeah, we best record in the league. Got to the NLCS, but I don't think we're just gonna fall off. We got all these guys coming back. I think we're still in good shape. We just gotta you know, pitch a little better, hit when it counts, and I think Brewers are in good shape.
yeah. When you're in like a series like this, obviously it's the NLCS, but when it counts, 2-0 or 3-0, it's not a hitter's count, especially when you're down in the series. Get on base.
Yeah.
Get on base. Don't swing at it. Don't watch it. Or watch it. Don't swing at it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. They drafted that Andrew Fisher first round. They got a pitcher on here anywhere. Got a pitcher out of Vanderbilt. Pick number 59. So they have a good farm team. They just gotta get healthy again. It's injuries
Definitely.
and it was free agents. I mean, maybe there might be some free agent pitching out there that saw how the Brewers did this last year and might want to come play for the Brewers. I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe their Mark Antanasio needs to pull out his pocketbook and
Yeah.
invest in the
There's
team.
a thought. It's like, yeah, I don't want to hear, I got a free agent for my soccer team, so I couldn't afford to Brewers. I don't want to hear that stuff. Spend it
Yeah,
on
I
the
mean,
Brewers.
just think if the money you invest in your team and then investments usually pay off,
Yeah.
you get money back. But
Well, especially you should feel better about it when you're this close. I understand if you're on the bottom, oh yeah, spending a lot will get you to the middle. That doesn't help. But, now that you're really close, I think spending that money might get you more bang for your buck than it would.
yeah, I just hope they can figure it out and at least at least make it to one World Series in my lifetime. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what was the last one?
Well,
82.
82. Yeah.
Well, last year I was born, so I don't remember anything.
Oh,
So
really? Yeah. Yeah, I was in high school. I remember. So, yeah.
so that way I'd be able to see my Packers in the playoff or my Packers in the Super Bowl twice and win it, obviously,
Mm,
or win the Super Bowl, and then the Bucks won the championship. Then you have the Badgers. Hey, I don't care. The Badgers in the '90s, those three Rose Bowls,
oh, yeah.
those are good enough, man. If they never win the national championship in my lifetime, I don't care because when they were in their heyday and in their glory in the late '90s,
Mm-hmm.
that was before all this NIL bull crap
Yeah.
came out and messed up
Right.
college sports and I mean, nice to see the Brewers. But
Definitely. I think.
you think back to the Badgers back of Darryl Bevel, Ron Dane, Terrell Fletcher,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, and all those guys, Lee Jaramus and it's just
Oh, yeah.
it, it's just that takes it for me right there. The Rose Bowls. Obviously, you want to see your team do better, but
Sure.
it always seems like the odds are stacked against the Badgers. So
Tough
it's
one. Yeah.
you know
I just hope they can find their way out of this mess, and I'm not sure exactly how it is. I just got to go back to basics, build
yeah.
from both lines, and then it'll be easier to get guys when you're good, you know, or at least
It's
in.
at that point it might be easier to get guys, but it's at some point education's got to be a factor too. In Wisconsin's for education is
Oh yeah.
you think a lot of these top guys I mean, you ever think maybe the reason why they can't get into Wisconsin or they don't
Yeah.
pick Wisconsin is because of the education? They can't get in. Look at
Well,
Diamond Stone.
yeah. Oh, exactly.
I mean, come on, it's
Yeah.
you have guys that yeah, they come to Wisconsin maybe for their education and the athletics, and after
Mhm.
3 years they might go pro, but then they
Mhm.
come back and finish their senior year and they graduate.
Yeah.
Versus hopping from school to school to school to school to school and this.
Well, Gary Anderson complained about that when he was coaching. He said, "I
Yep.
can't recruit the guys I want. They can't get in." And it's like my daughter went to Madison. And she was a biology major, and she did have some offensive linemen in some of her classes, but that was about it. And
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those guys are smart. They
yeah.
go to Wisconsin. You sit there and you look at their majors. It's like, wow, they're going to like be a scientist or
Oh yeah,
you know.
engineers, and yeah. I mean, it's such a good school, and it's a great campus. It's a great city. You think that would be attractive, and
Yeah, I mean, it is a good city. I spent many nights down there. Uh, Being a teenager and being in my 20s, it was.
yeah. Well, my son would go up. He'd go up to Madison and say, "Oh, I'm visiting my sister at Madison," and then he goes and parties, and I asked, "Oh, I never saw him." So
Yeah,
that was too much to do in Madison.
no,
Yeah.
it's at some point though you grow out of it, but it's just a little blip in your life that you got to have fun for a little bit, and then at some
Oh,
point you gotta live your life and be productive in society. So,
yeah, yeah. I hear you.
but yeah, well, let's hope for a Brewers victory tonight.
All
Let's
right.
hope the Badgers can beat Ohio State tomorrow. Let's
Yes.
hope that,
Yeah.
hey, if we win the coin flip, that's a victory.
There you go.
Okay.
Start small. Yes.
I hope the Packers can beat the Cardinals on Sunday, and that'd be a good weekend, I'd say.
Definitely.
And the Bucks, they're starting pretty soon. They're gonna look good.
Oh,
They have a good young team, I think. Like you were saying, Miles Turner, even back years ago before he signed his second deal with the Pacers, I'm like
mhm,
the Bucks got to go after him. They need
yeah.
him. And then it's kind of funny how like even how much I complain about Brooke Lopez, and then
Yeah.
we get like a younger athletic version of Brooke Lopez. It's like yes, yes,
Yes. Yes.
he can shoot the three, he can block, he can play defense, he can do everything. So let's
Yeah,
hope the Bucks make a good push this year and get back to the championship form. And
definitely. I'm
yeah,
I'm looking forward to the season. So
yeah, for sure. Well, I look forward to having you back on down the road.
definitely.
For sure. And I want to thank you for being on tonight.
Not a problem.
Yeah,
My
where
pleasure. And it's always good talking Wisconsin sports, especially living here in North Carolina. You go to work on Monday, and oh, no one cares about the Packer game. No one cares about the and so I do miss that. That's for sure.
yeah, you got to do your best at spreading the Packer gospel down there and getting more Packer fans in North Carolina.
Well, we do. What we do down here, we have bars that Packer bars, obviously everywhere that we go to watch the games. And when we moved down here to Raleigh, North Carolina, I got with the University of Wisconsin alumni group in Raleigh. So we go there and we watch games. And like a couple years ago, when the Badgers played North Carolina State in Raleigh, the whole UW alumni group, we all went down there to the game, and so we do a lot of things together. So,
It's awesome.
unfortunately, this season our Badger football watch games, the attendance has been a lot less than usual because we've been so bad. But it's always nice to they go around the tables and they ask what city you're from in Wisconsin. So if you get a little homesick, we always make sure we go to a
Yeah.
watch game out there. So.
There's a lot of red and white, but it ain't for Wisconsin. It's for NC State.
Yeah, exactly. I just didn't want to get in the middle of the Duke and North Carolina feuds.
Yeah.
That gets kind of bad down here. So
What are we down? Wait, what's the score of the Brewer game? Is it zeros still?
I'm
Do you know?
I'm not watching it right now.
Yeah, I was trying to watch it here on MLB.com, and it's really confusing. But anyways, yeah. Well, thanks for being on. Sorry, Chuck. Thanks for being on tonight. I appreciate it. And like I said, hopefully we can get back on later on this season. Maybe
Sounds good.
towards the end of the Packers season, and we can reflect on our Badgers and our and that's
Definitely.
what the Badgers and Packers is about the only thing that's going to be relevant. So,
And oh, by then the Bucks will be.
oh, and the
Yeah.
Bucks, yeah. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying the Packers will be almost done with their season. Well, towards the
Yeah.
end, and the
Yep.
Badgers will be have no recruiting class in 2027, and it's just going to be crazy. But again, thank you, and enjoy watching the Brewers tonight. Hopefully, they can win.
Yep. Go Brewers and go Pack go.
Go
Take
Pack, go!
care.
Thanks, Chuck. Yep, take
Sure.
care.
Bye.
Bye.